What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 70. We start today's stuff with an academy update as we officially enter April, just a one player left in our youth squad now. And look at our fixtures for a crazy busy month of April. In the Premier League, we've got a trip to Selhurst Park and Goodison Park, a ground where we always struggle at, alongside Leeds and West Ham at home. We've got the FA Cup semi-final, the final game of the month against Spurs at Wembley. And what are the other two games? What are they? Are they meaningful? Oh yeah, of course, Champions League quarter-final against Barcelona. You have no idea how excited I am for this tie, and you see the first leg away at the new camp in today's episode as well. So for the first game of today's episode, a brief look at the table before going into it. As we know, 9 games to go in the Premier League, and it's getting real. A nice run of form sees us still top of the table, but Liverpool are refusing to let us go. They won the Championship last year with 5 points clear. We had the far superior goal difference record, but Klopp's side are pushing us every step of the way and not giving us an inch as we chase our first ever Premier League. So heading to the game, Crystal Palace away at Selhurst Park, Patrick Vieira's side. Having a struggling season, I should say, overall this year in the game. We took lead for a really scrappy goal as well. A poor misplaced pass, a deflected shot, and then Tony turning in the rebound, making it 1-0. And there were 2 minutes to go in the first half. Not too much to report in the first half, really. Tom Davies plays a 1-2 of Ivan. We hold the ball up wisely here, Justin into Tom, finds a bit of space, gets around his man, rolls through Jesse. Again, great first touch, great ball, and Tony smacks it as well. Lovely patient goal there as well. I could have forced it when I was down the left hand side, trying to take advantage of Palace out of position, but instead did the wise thing there, just held the ball up, waited for a clear cut chance. We got it, and Ivan smacks it in for goal number 28 in 30. Is he going to break his own record this season? Well, if he doesn't, we won't mind one bit, as long as his goals win us the title. But yeah, leading by 2, 8 minutes after the restart, a chance to make it 3, and Roberto said, "Gaffer, don't forget about me." Whilst Ivan is still leading the way in the race for the Golden Boot, I'm the holder, lest we forget. The race for the Golden Boot is just so fun, man. Crystal Palace 0, Brentford 3, surely points in the bag. But 61 minutes in, Jeff Rennie Adelaide picks the ball up here, 25 yards from goal, finds Will Hughes, turns his man, and a simple finish at the near post. Should have been dealt with by Balo instead. Put it straight back into play as Palace grabbed themselves a consolation goal there. I mentioned before, goalkeepers in this year's FIFA, at times they're just so underpowered. It was a really tame effort. Baylor should have pushed it away for a corner there. Instead, back into open play, and Palace get themselves a route back in the game. So 3-1 now with 12 minutes to go. Palace looking for a route back in it, and Baylor makes amends here. Great save on Rennie Adelaide after Santos cleared the ball off the line. And Vieira's side, they weren't giving up, man. They were pressing until the final whistle, looking for a late route back into the game. Baylor made a couple of great saves to redeem himself after the goal he let in. He probably could have done better with, but in the end, thankfully, the late charge was avoided. The late charge was held off. 3-1 the final score. But to be fair, Vieira's side made us sweat towards the end there. It was kind of like the Nottingham Forest game as well. You know, in our last victory at Brentford, you know, they really made us sweat for a time. We were 3-0 up, and then out of nowhere it was 3-2, and we had to score a couple more goals to make sure we closed the game out. We didn't score more in this game. We did hold on to the win. So following that, it was time for the Champions League quarter-final away at the new camp against Barcelona right now. 4th place in La Liga. They're not going to win the title now, and they're just desperately trying to cling on to that 4th and final CL spot. And when you look at their team, it is incredible. Marquinhos 90 overall. Ter Stegen is now 92 overall as a goalkeeper as well. Really great defense. Brahim is now 86 overall. I love how Coutinho is still there. Gnabry is 86 overall as a Barcelona winger as well. Pjanic is still there, but he's now been downgraded to oblivion at 78. But Bernardo Silva has moved on. He's 87 overall. Frankie de Jong is still there, 92 overall. Dembele is still there, 88 overall. Gabriel Jesus has joined Bernardo Silva as a Barcelona player. He's 87 overall. And Trincao is still there at 85 overall. So when this tie was drawn, I said we're probably quite even with Barcelona. And looking at that team, I probably would stick to that as well. I'd say we're quite even with Barca. But they've got a fantastic defence, one of the highest rated goalkeepers in the game, and look great when going forward with De Jong and Bernardo Silva through the middle as well. To put it plainly, this is a really good Barcelona team under management of Xavi. So first leg away in Catalonia, and all I could think about was the Bayern Munich game. And now we lost the first leg 1-0 and put ourselves in a hole. Oh, so I thought heading to the new camp, let's go at them. Let's not be in the same position we were a few weeks ago against Bayern Munich. Let's get a goal away from home in the first leg, and 7 minutes in, we would do just that. The shocker, 29 years old, bangs one from range past the German Ter Stegen, an absolute scorcher from the shocker, and Brentford lead at the Nou Camp. And this is what I needed to do in the game against Bayern Munich. In the first half, you know, I had one or two chances, I had a disallowed goal, but really, I wasn't as attack-minded as I needed to be. And 12 minutes in, as Tony breaks away, it is a brilliant finish from our number 17. And I was thinking, why couldn't I have done this in the game at Munich? Barcelona 0, Brentford 2. I had to run to the corner for both the goals to celebrate as well. 2-0 up at the Nou Camp, and Ivan Toney has them both. And this is what we needed to do. You know, our game is not built on defense, it's built on strong offense. We've got the best attack in Europe and the deadliest strike partnership in all the land. You got to go for goals. You got to put teams under pressure. You got to do things to confuse the goalkeeper. 31 minutes in, and could you believe it? Ivan Toney has a hat-trick at the Nou Camp in 30 minutes. And for Ter Stegen, oh, I love this shot by the way, but for Ter Stegen, goodness gracious me, 92 overall. But what was this? You know, I keep on talking about goalkeepers now, underpowered they are on FIFA this year. Oh, this is shocking. This is shocking from the German. I'll be honest, it kind of reminded me of Bernardo Silva's goal in the Manchester derby last weekend as Barcelona get back in the game with a thunderbolt from Gabriel Jesus. So, speaking of Man City, yeah, it kind of reminded me of Bernardo Silva's goal when he beat Luke Shaw to the ball and he sort of just clipped it in from such a tight angle and De Gea just got caught out. It's kind of the same sort of thing, really. I don't think Ter Stegen was expecting Tony to win that aerial duel against Jules Koundé, because Koundé had the advantage from the position, but instead Tony just wanted it more, like Bernardo Silva wanted it more from Luke Shaw, and then squeezed it from a tight angle. It's exactly what Tony did there. I don't think Ter Stegen was expecting it. That's why we managed to squeeze it in. So Barca 1, Brentford 3, and after a crazy first half that was so action-packed, in the second half there was very few chances to report until with 6 minutes to go we came on the counter, and Josh Da Silva makes it Barcelona 1, Brentford 4, as we were well on our way to a famous win at the Nou Camp. And I talked about it, our game is built on attack. Goals, 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 that's all we're about. So whilst I can't defend to save my life in this year's FIFA with 3.5 minutes to go, as Frenkie de Jong smacks one in from range to put Barcelona back in the game and back in the tie as well, thankfully it proved to be nothing other than a consolation goal. A famous win in Catalonia. Barcelona 2, Brentford 4, and a totally different feeling to the first leg against Bayern Munich. We were dejected, we felt broken, we lost the game by a goal, still heading back to West London. This time, we got a 2-goal lead to take back to the Community Stadium. The man we thank for it, Ivan Toney, with the hat-trick. And I loved it as well, because the goal scorers in this game weren't Wilfred Ndidi, club record signing, weren't the goal machine, Gutierrez, you know, weren't players that I brought into the team, but players that have grown up with the team. 2 players we inherited, Ivan Toney and Josh Da Silva. I love that. 4-2 the final score. Roberto with a hat-trick against Bayern Munich, Tony with a hat-trick against Barcelona. We lead by 2 heading back to the second leg. You know, if we concede no more than 1 goal, we are into the Champions League semi-finals. What a position. But listen, after Bayern Munich were beaten from a leading position in the quarter-finals, Barcelona will be thinking, why can't we pull a Brentford? Why can't we overcome the deficit in the second leg? So whilst we do lead by 2, I'm taking nothing for granted when we head back home to the Community Stadium. So for the third and final game of today's episode, Leeds United, Bielsa's boys coming to take us on the Community Stadium here, desperate to stay top of the table in the Premier League and try and keep the gap at 5 points between us and Liverpool. Took the lead early through Jesse Lingard, getting his first in the Premier League this year and making it 1-0. And 28 minutes in, after Baylor made a good save at the near post, looking for our second, James Justin storms down the left-hand side, tries to catch the goalkeeper at the near post, off the post, and still 1-0. So both teams with chances in the first half, still leading by 1. With 8 minutes to go, looking to extend our lead to 2 and give us as a cushion. Great little 1-2 here between Tariq Lamptey and Roberto Gutierrez. He's the former Brighton kid, rolled it back to Gutierrez. His first shot blocked, but after an absolute scramble, it drops out of the sky to Roberto, who says thanks very much, there's our second. And I keep on mentioning it, and it's true. Goalkeepers this year's FIFA, they need an upgrade. And I'll be honest here, I quite like the fact that goalkeepers do make mistakes, because it's made the gameplay more realistic. You know, goalkeepers aren't flawless. Goalkeepers aren't robots. They will make errors like this one every now and then. I just think they're a little bit too common, do you know what I mean? I like the fact that EA have added in goalkeeper mistakes to FIFA, because in previous years, you know, they might have like one gaff a season, if that. But the fact of the matter is that they'll make more mistakes than that over the course of a campaign. I like the fact you do see quite a few every now and then, but I just think there are a bit too many. Do you know what I mean? It's like long shots. It's great to see them getting scored and conceded now, but it's just a little bit too common. It needs to be the right balance, you know. But even so, Brentford 2 Leeds 1. Torreira scored late. We still head on for the 3 points. A big victory there against Leeds. The unbeaten run continues in the Premier League. 12 straight games in the league without defeat. But we just can't get away from Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's side, the champions, they're doing what champions should, defend their title as best they can. We still have the 5-point gap, 7 games to go, win 6 of our remaining 7 with champions, but I think we will need to win 6 of our remaining 7, because Liverpool just refuse to slip up. But that will end this career mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode. We don't want to miss 2 massive games in the Premier League, including a trip to our bogey team, Everton, away at Goodison Park, and the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final versus Barcelona.